Test Run. I'm your host, Code Marvelous, and today I'm again joined by Worlds 2017 runner-up, Gregory Tongue. Thank you very much for being on the channel again.
Oh yeah, great to be here.
So we are going to be taking your what I have dubbed BeatShop
I love
deck, the Aesop's Pawn Shop Hayley deck that you piloted to a second place finish at 2017 Worlds, and I'm going to be a conduit for your will. Let's try to find a game.
Sounds great.
Now, is there anything that you want to make sure that people know, any kind of like hard moles that people should know about when you're going into this deck?
So in general, the dream is to see professional contacts in the opening hand.
Isn't it always?
Yeah, right. Like you want to make every draw as click valuable as possible. And the more draws that are Proco draws, the better it's going to be for you long term. Having said that, if you're expecting to play against Fast Advance or a deck that really leverages an early score like a Nisei Mark II or a Project Atlas style deck, oh cool, it's CI. You might want to look for some other tools. So this hand is okay. We have a very healthy amount of money. We have an SMC in hand. Brahmin's only going to be relevant if it's a CI flatline deck. But we don't have either the Pawn Shop or the Proco. I think we can be greedy and mulligan this. What do you think?
Hey, I am but a golem here. But yeah, I mean, we can get greedy and mulligan away this B plus for and try to get the A.
Yeah, let's go for it. Let's see what happens.
Yay! Woo!
Oh my God, it's so good.
It's so good, and we can piggyback stuff. Oh, it's so good.
See, better lucky than skilled. All right, and we have install credit.
Isn't that always the way of it, though?
Yep, that tells us nothing other than they didn't draw Violet. So I don't think it's worth trying to get accesses right now. We still don't know what version of CI this is. So let's go and install the Proco and the Councilman, click 1. And if this is an Estelle Moon deck, that might be valuable. And let's click Proco once. One more time. And since we don't know what deck they're on, but we want to get as much value as possible from that Astrolabe, why don't we drop that? And
what an opener! Just
yeah, that turned just fine. And we can safely play that gamble next turn if we need to. Draw. Credit. Okay. So they're not having a very good start, which is unfortunate for them, but we're not going to let it slow us down. So if you've never played a Proco deck, this is what happens. You mash Proco. Let's see what happens with one draw. Oh, fantastic. So let's do that one more time. One more. And we're going to finish with Hyperdriver and Cash and take the 3 off.
Tastes good.
Yep.
Obviously. Feels so good. This is
Yep.
We're getting pretty close to ideal draws here. The only way this could be better is if we already had an SMC in our hand.
Yep, that would be fantastic.
All right, so draw money. Okay.
Yep. Now you can't be greedy with Hyperdriver. Take it while you can, and especially we got another one in our hand. We want to go and unload that.
So you want me to hit it now?
Absolutely. We're probably playing another one this turn and take clicks. So let's see. We want to make sure that we have access to SMC if they are some sort of fast advance or flatline deck. So that's what we're digging for currently. So
okay.
Let's Proco. Probably one more after this. Okay, one more. Okay, that's kind of unfortunate. Let's see. I think we want to start seeing what they're doing at this exact moment. So let's go ahead and install the turning wheel. That's going to be the first in our hand.
Say that again.
Let's go and install the turning wheel, because we're going to go make one run on R&D this turn just to get an idea of what's going on.
Sure.
Nope. Let's run R&D one time.
Oh, right, because we can just pitch the extra copies of Proco.
Yep, we've got a lot of dead cards in our hands. ELP. Okay, so that probably means... well, we haven't seen a bunch of assets, but I think it's going to be some sort of Glacier East type deck. And let's finish by playing the Hyperdriver. We're going to have another big turn. And we can dump for Brokos.
Feels good.
Yep. Great start. Next thing we're looking for, obviously SMC, but would be nice to see a pawn shop as well. Start selling off those caches. Yep. There's the ELP. They don't want us to run R&D, and that's fine.
ELP is a fine card.
Yep.
All right, so are we doing a hyperdrive turn?
Yep, we've got one more, and we don't take necessarily advantage of the crazy things. We could like mash R&D a million times, but I'm a conservative player, so let's start with Proco.
Well, then you're in the right faction.
Exactly. Proco.
Hey.
Right. One more, I think. Okay. So I'm not convinced that misdirection is totally irrelevant, just in case like they're a scary, silly deck.
Okay.
But let's go and yeah, we can safely poke R&D one time. It's gonna be 2 clicks, but that's fine. We're gonna get the turning wheel counter or lose the ELP. Okay. That's a bump.
That stinks.
Yeah, we'll give him a second. I can't blame him, though. It's been very slow for him. Hasn't drawn any Operation Econ so far.
Sometimes the deck doesn't give you what you want.
Yep.
All right. Looks like we got a bag. Yay.
Okay, what do we got?
Shipment from Kaguya.
Okay, that's interesting. So that means it's either fast advance or it's rewiring. So now I feel bad about wasting that time. But what's done is done. We're going to go and install the cache and the... shoot, I don't... If it is rewiring CI, then it's not going to be playing any ice with subtypes. But let's just drop the misdirection from now, just so we can start setting up if we need to install Brahmin.
Sure.
And we'll finish with the pawn shop.
Tastes good.
Yep. We're going to need to be able to, at a moment's notice, be able to sell this Astrolabe now.
To get the heartbeat down.
Exactly.
Because for those of you who are thinking about picking up this deck, a very important thing to understand is that you cannot replace a console with another console, right? You can't overwrite the slot once it's filled unless you're playing something like Pawn Shop or Chopbot.
Man, they are having just a really rough time of this, aren't they? Let's go ahead and sell that cash. Okay, so random pokes are a little bit frustrating because of enhanced login protocol, but their credit total is really low right now. Let's see, what's the worst thing that happens if we run HQ?
I don't know, Fairchild 3 res?
There are 3 credits we can go and... I actually don't hate that. I don't hate Architect too much either right now. Let's go and try HQ and see what's going on. They're not doing anything. That kind of implies something, right?
Right. Show me Architect.
I'd rather see the Fairchild 3. All right, nothing. Let's go C2. Get an idea of what's going on here.
Mother Goddess.
Okay.
Elective upgrade steel.
Fantastic.
That's pretty good.
And Mogo pretty much cements it. It's rewiring CI. So let's hit Proco one time. Okay, and let's see. Just one more of Proco. Let's...
Hey!
Hey, cool. Let's discard Turning Wheel, and I really don't think we're going to need Cyber Cipher in this matchup, so let's get rid of that.
That's fair. So next turn, is our pawn target going to be Astrolabe?
Almost assuredly not. Their credit total's 9, and we can get a good idea of what it's going to cost them to flatline us. They're going to need 5 to
Empty the hand.
just to activate the brain rewiring plus
Right.
biotic. That's probably Jeeves modeled bioroids. We don't want that around. Let's go ahead and sell the cash. So click 1, let's run server 1. One way that you can lose this matchup is by letting those Jeeves stay out. It gives them a little bit extra. Oh, it's Stinson. Okay, I'm wrong. I have no idea what's going on now. It's JNet casual time. That can stay on the board. We're never going to get that low.
JNet casual time.
Let's go and see what's on the top of the deck right now, because they're not pressuring us at all. We can get through almost anything.
Sure.
Okay, interesting. It's Mother Goddess with the threats of the
Stinson MCA.
like Wilson deck, or Wolfie deck. That can stay there for now. Maybe we can get some Parisha value later. Let's go ahead and Proco one time. Okay, and so we know Mother Goddess is in the deck, so why don't we go drop the Inti and the Brahmin?
Seems good. And we're at 1 empty MU.
Yep.
This engine feels so smooth. Just delicious.
We drew quite well.
Well, we did draw quite well. That's true.
But
look at all these free draws.
Yeah. Okay, so one of those is the austerity policy.
And a mystery card that's probably Jeeves.
It's probably safe to sell the misdirection at this point. That's what I'd like to sell at this exact moment. Okay, so, man, I guess I'm going to let them res the Jeeves. I don't think there's anything that can sneak by us. Let's go and try HQ one time and see what's going on there.
Perfect. In we go.
All right.
So Loki, yeah, it's the all untyped ice build.
Yep. All right. We'll go check the remotes. Can we start with server 3, please? I like starting from the outside.
Sure.
Fantastic. Yep, there that is. That can stay.
Do you want me to do 2 as well?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
It's another MCA.
Oh, poor guy. Okay, let's finish off with a. Let's go with Gamble. We want to keep the Sakon in hand in case we draw another one and get some just incidental value. And these breakers don't matter. Let's start by ditching the Nano TK.
Yeah, Nanotech.
Nanot K? Who knows?
It's supposed to be Nanotech, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense, doesn't it? No, we're not going to use Councilman for that. So, this is going to cost him clicks. He's moving so slowly right now because he's just not seeing clearances, not seeing operation economy.
Sure.
That I don't mind us losing the click. We're definitely going to get rid of it at some point, probably this turn. Okay, so we drew another pawn shop. Let's go and see what's going on in server 4, just in case it's a reverse accounts or something. Don't want that. That's the Jeeves. He's at 9. Man. Yeah, let's go and keep that. So he'll spend 3 turns or 3 clicks clicking for crest next turn. Let's go and get rid of that MCA. And we don't need the Aesop, so we can just lose that next turn. Do you want to just Yeah, let's just run R&D, start building up those turning wheel counters, force him to take some actions.
Sure.
Nope. Nope, that one's fine. That's why we don't trash Jeeves. Yeah, the reason we can kind of just sit back on our laurels is we kind of just have almost anything. That's fine. If we were seeing any notion that he was going to be able to threaten fast advance, start rushing with the Procos and getting the sacrificial constructs on the board or trying to.
Well, it's also worth noting in this type of build, once we have this SMC on the table, not only do we still have the threat as Hayley, but they don't know where the clot is.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Unless it's actually in our bin. Which is neat. And Hayley's, I think one of the best reasons to play Hayley in the current meta is because she can rip the clot out of hand.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where it is right now. Like, normally we'd be in a lot of trouble if we were something like Isla, but we're totally fine because we can, at some point, go and find the SMC. We'll be at 5 MU, and we can use that to install Da Vinci from the deck and Clot from the hand.
Right.
So we're sitting pretty. How many face-down cards are in Archives right now?
Looks like 12.
We can learn a lot. Let's just find out what's going on here because I'm super confused. And who knows? Yep, he's just horribly flooded. And can I take a look at what's going on in Archives, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, no worries.
So
the reverse accounts are in there.
Yep, there's 2 reverse accounts, there's 2 Kaguyas, and he's playing 2 different 5/3s. Very interesting. Okay. Let's Proco one time. Okay. Let's Proco one more time. Okay, and let's drop the. We don't want to. We want to keep the Secon in hand right now. We're ahead very far right now, but we don't know how long we're going to be ahead. Let's finish by just one random access on R&D and force him to be like, okay, I got to get that protected because, yeah. And we're going to be discarding Astrolabe end of turn as well as Gordian. Okay, that's good. Purge and trash that card.
So Astrolabe, you said.
Yep, and you know what? We're just going to be really safe and keep the Heartbeat, but I don't think we need it. There was no ice with subtypes in Archives, right?
Correct.
Okay, yeah. Okay. The reason that we're keeping the Inti and not selling it to the pawn shop is just in case the game goes long enough for him to make I apologize, him or her, to make a Loki Mother Goddess server. We want to have another one. Okay, there's the first VLC. Excellent. Okay. Okay, so let's Proco, because now we'd like to see an SMC. Okay, Proco again. Okay, let's run HQ. See if he or she feels like rezzing. Yep, we're going to bounce off that right now. 10 credits isn't enough to do anything threatening. And we are going to install 2 sacrificial constructs at this point. Maybe, yeah. All right, perfect. There's no way this individual is going to be incentivized to fast advance this turn. They're going to go to 2 credits if they do so for a 4/2.
Right.
ELP, yep. And
17 cards left in the deck, no SMCs seen.
Yep. We got lucky on everything else, right? We got the Brahmin early for the Mythic only Ice Suite. ELP. Yep. That was the value archive memories, right?
Yeah.
And there's 11 cards left in hand. Okay. So based on what's going on, we might have to install the Clot naturally, and that would be a bummer. But we know that the other 2 cards are not Jeeves. It's MCA Austerity Policy and Brian Stinson.
Yeah.
let's go and uh, let's poke HQ one time and bounce off of the Mother Goddess. Let's run R&D in C4.
Tastes good.
Yep. This might be silly because he or she was so slow. Nope, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. And let's see. What's the worst thing that happens to us if we don't play the clot, right? Let's think about it.
Okay.
So efficiency committee would be the worst thing that happens. If we play it, then they're going to purge, gain a click, and probably VLC or something random. The agendas are in HQ. So
It's worth noting we likely only need one strike to win this game.
yep, because we're on 5. We have a real 5-3 here. Let's go ahead and drop the clot, unfortunately.
We
And we're
can't
gonna
we
use-
can't get max shaper value at all times.
yeah, we're doing fine.
We're doing just fine. Yeah, and this is where I think about, like, just my own play. Against this type of CI, like, my smoke build would just get ruined because the die V is so hungry for
Yep.
stealth credits.
So we're gonna use the SatCon, of course. And what their click is right now actually will tell us some things, which is
A buck.
take a credit. Okay, that makes sense. Man, wouldn't it have been cool if Heartbeat did something this game? But that's most of the matchups, right?
It is the silver bulletist of silver bullets.
Okay, so let's Proco once. Ooh, interesting. All right, let's Proco one more time. Okay, cool. And we're gonna finish by doing just one random run on HQ, which will bounce off of the. Actually, we're gonna go through. So it's gonna be 3 credits. We're gonna be returning Inti to the top of the deck. And then next turn, our first action can be install.
I have to do it manually, right?
Yeah, you just have to drag it to the top of the stack.
Yep. And that's a good game.
Okay, very good. We should have done the 4-axis run on HQ based on their lack of action in the game. But other than that, I think we played that quite fine. And showed us how quickly the deck can set up and apply pressure and force the corp to either be reactive or get messed up.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for coming on. It's just a very elegant deck. I think the most interesting thing, the thing that made me the most excited about this build that you made, is that all of the pieces of it are incredibly internally synergistic. Someone would be hard pressed to say that you have very many conditional cards that you're not getting some sort of double duty value out of.
Yep.
Which I really like, and that's like a defining feature of a good shaper build. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Just thinking about like when we didn't know what version of CI this was, we can look at just how well we were set up for no matter what it was. We saw a Mythic Ice early, so we knew what was superfluous in the Breaker Suite. If it was an asset spam deck, the Astrolabe would have done a ton. We saw the Heartbeat early because of the hyper drivers, so if it was a flatline deck, we'd be able to react to that really quickly.
Right.
We were in a really nice reactive spot, and we had the Aesop, so if we needed to, we could do stuff like start selling Councilman or superfluous cards for money, but this matchup doesn't require money.
Right.
Just enough.
I especially like the Brahmin and Heartbeat, obviously, but the Brahmin include, because it's a great example of how somebody such as yourself, who is kind of outside of, shall we say, like the group think,
Mm-hmm.
can kind of stumble upon that which other people have completely overlooked, which was that a big solution to mythic ice, or just ice in general, right, to keep up with a lot of these very fast CI decks, is Brahmin. And that was something that, like, literally after I watched you play on at Worlds, I was just like, oh yeah, of course. Of course Brahmin is the solution. Like, all of the ice in these decks is like 3 strength or lower.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
If we went one more turn, the next turn would have been just to showcase like how Brahmin is not a tax as it would be in some matchups. The next turn is Proco, install Inti and Da Vinci, and run HQ. So we've already recovered from that. This turn we were going to end of turn discard, I believe, Stimhack.
Right.
Or excuse me, we're going to discard Heartbeat. We knew we weren't getting flatlined. And then at the end of their turn, we would use Da Vinci to install SatCon and daily casts.
Oh,
So we're
so
getting,
good.
yeah, so much value. They're another turn behind, and Brahmin didn't cost us anything in terms of tempo for what we wanted to be doing.
Right. Yeah, it's brilliant. I really like it a lot. Thank you so much for coming on the channel, Greg. I really do appreciate it. It's been a blast having you on.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Everybody watching, the list with the write-up is in the show notes below. Check it out. It's a really neat build. It's a great build that, you know, can get you away from some of like the more complicated clone ship plays. So I actually think, despite, you know, that there's a lot of decision making lines, it's a nice starter point for somebody who wants to play this type of Proco based Hayley, because you don't have to worry about using clone chips at the right time. But yeah, check it out. Greg, it's a fine build, and your CI rewiring deck is also up on the internet, yes?
Yep. If you want to go be degenerate and not and not have to think too hard, that is there. Uh, and it's actually a lot of fun. If you're playing against a Shaper deck with Clot and Satcon, there's a lot of really fascinating decision points, and it's a really interesting matchup.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
it's a really neat deck, and I was happy that even though we saw a lot of CI, people were on a lot of different versions of CI, which is good.
yeah, that's the most fun part about playing against CI is just getting random accesses, trying to glean what they're doing, because there's so many exciting CI builds out there right now, and they all demand very different strategies, lines of attack.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you again, and everybody watching at home, until we see you all again, always be running.